We're gonna get that son of a bitch. He raped and slaughtered my sister Maggie. She's only one out of 200 chicks that motherfucker butchered. There's no fucking way he's getting away this time. No fucking way.
Welcome to Second Class Cinema, the show where we watch a B movie and immediately discuss it. I'm Tom. I'm here with Brittany and Eric.
Hi!
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome back to us
everyone. Yeah, it's been a bit since we recorded. I've been sick, so I apologize if I sound weird and or cough.
Tom, you always sound weird and sometimes you cough.
That happens because I'm a human.
And I am now sick, so excuse me as well.
I'm sick all the time.
Sick.
Yeah.
All right, so this is our 1 year anniversary special episode because we've been doing this for a whole year now.
Woo.
Woo, 1 year.
Yeah.
Been doing it. This is episode 56.
I think this is the longest I've ever committed to anything in my life.
Good job. we keep it going.
Totally flew by.
It really did, and it was a good time. And our first episode was on Back from Hell, which is a movie that's pretty close to all of us. And a year later, we want to watch the movie The Necro Files. And that's because Matt Jaissle made them both. And we had Matt Jaissle come on the show. And we did a nice interview with him, and he's a good guy.
Yeah, he was a nice guy.
And it all worked out. So we wanted to kind of bookend it nicely with another one of his movies. So we watched 1997's The Necro Files.
Sure did.
Tommy,
Yeah.
what was this movie about?
Since it was your pick.
It is my pick. First one was my pick. This one's going to be my pick, too. And this movie was about two cops who are hunting after a serial killer rapist who find him, track him down, they kill him, and then that guy comes back from the dead. He's raised from the dead by Satanists to continue killing and raping people. And he's like a sex-crazed zombie.
Yeah. That's how he's credited in the credits, right?
Is it really?
I think it's something to that effect, yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Crazy zombie played by.
Yeah, so that's basically what it's about, right?
Pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's minor details.
There's subplots. There's a couple of people that we followed from the Satanist group. There's a baby that also comes to life.
Is the bastard child of one of his rapes.
Yeah, who
And then they sacrifice it, and that's what brings him back.
and who gets possessed as well. So a lot going on in this movie. But yeah,
Boy, was it crazy.
Okay, you clowns, cut the crap.
all right. So let's kick it off with some successes of the movie.
Successes. The camera work in this was pretty good. There were some interesting shots in there.
It did. I think they did a lot with a little.
I noticed, and you could definitely see how far Matt Jaissle has come from Back from Hell to that.
Yeah, I think so. You can definitely see. So that's why it's really cool that we're so familiar with Back from Hell because then we definitely saw his growth as an artist throughout. Because I think Back from Hell was 93, and I think they shot it in 87. This was 97, so it was probably about 10 years or so after. I think he was really making movies, and you can definitely see the improvement.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
It was very apparent.
Taking more risks, being a little more creative with the shot composition.
Yeah,
Very cool.
Yeah,
And it almost seemed like the kind of shots that you wouldn't really see in a feature movie. Like they were like strangely inspired, but maybe a major movie wouldn't use these kind of shots. So, I mean, it all felt like kind of the mystique that you get from a B movie that you don't usually see from like mainstream releases.
definitely.
Yeah.
And I mean, if I could say something about, so I mean, we've only watched 2 of his movies, but his movies captivate me. They do. Like I watch them. Like they are relatively low grade, relatively low quality, and they are captivating. I always get sucked in.
They're definitely interesting.
Like there wasn't.
Subject matter is different.
Yeah, there really wasn't a moment where I wasn't like curious as to what was happening
Yeah.
and what was going to happen because of it.
I feel like they just really went for it in this movie, and I have to give them credit for that. Like, they made some risky moves.
They definitely did.
This whole movie was risky business, but
Tom Cruise in his underwear, pretty risky business.
A lot of that.
There's lots of dicks, lots of murder,
Lots of
baby stabbing,
lots of sluts being killed.
urinating on baby corpses. It was a time.
Yeah, but
But they went for it.
Still coming
Like
to
I
terms.
feel like they had a vision and then they committed to it and they saw it through the whole thing. It didn't feel uneven at
Yeah.
any point. Like I was like, okay, this is what this movie is. All right.
We wrote
And then
the script. It needs to appear on the screen now.
And then they just laid it on us, which I give them credit for. Not
Abs-
really pulling back, it seemed like.
so wrapped up in being all of those disgusting things, it was also very funny.
I agree.
This had some serious laugh out loud moments.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's genuine humor, and a lot of it was during those disturbing scenes, and I think that helped the absurdity of the movie because it was shot and like cut for comedy. Like it wasn't just like, oh, this happens to be funny. Like it was intended to be funny, and it was.
Yeah, definitely. I felt like it was effectively creepy and funny. And in some parts you were like, I don't know if this was like creepy or if it's like so stupid that it's funny. But
I'm just going to
worked.
say they managed to make baby murder pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, they did. They made a whole baby sacrificing scene hysterical.
Yeah.
Like
Where like the Satanist just like fumbles the baby corpse into an already dug grave and then just dirt immediately piled on top of it. Like,
Yeah.
the timing was absolutely incredible. There's little things like that make this movie a lot more palatable than it really should be.
yeah, and it's intentional, and I think that's what makes it like a positive note.
I do have to say, even though I don't think it was particularly well done, but in the same vein, I thought the butcher shop practical effects were pretty hysterical.
Yeah,
I think there were a number of times in the movie where we just said, "There's not that many guts in the human body, and it's not possible." And it was like cartoonishly silly. I think they knew what they were doing.
yeah, definitely.
I think there was even a scene like near the end of the movie where the killer just gets completely like disemboweled and like just there's kielbasa like sitting right there in the
oh,
tummy.
as plain as day, Hillshire Farm kielbasa.
But the effects were like way better than Back from Hell.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And which in a 4 years? Or was that shot in the late 80s?
it was
and then
shot in the
released?
let's call it like 6 or 7.
Split the difference.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
And-
yeah, it's a considerable change from Back from Hell, which
from
was
just
like
kinda-
some pale makeup and
Well,
jelly smudge.
Jelly smudge, some like generic kind of like stretchy guts. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, there's a couple of really good moments in Back from Hell.
Yeah, I noticed that Jaissle didn't write this, so I was wondering how much of a difference it was going to make in the overall story.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I think it still fit in his wheelhouse, and I don't know how much he added to it.
Definitely, because it has themes in common with Back from Hell, like the whole people going to the dark side
Yeah. No, that's always
and
interesting.
having to pay terribly for it.
I thought another good part to this movie, I guess. So a lot of movies like this tend to have some, pretty poor audio. Not in this case, because everyone was screaming at the top of their lungs for all of their lines of dialogue
Except for the serial killer who was just whispering tits and pussy.
to himself.
Yeah, to himself.
Wait, everyone doesn't do that?
No, it's just him, Eric. Just him. Everything was said at the highest volume humanly possible.
Tourette's guy.
and
No.
Yeah, and like especially our two cop characters, they were very loud and very funny.
I was a little confused by our cop characters.
Ask him questions.
All right.
Well, I feel like we're led to believe that the main character is the Tourette's guy cop.
Yeah, I would say he's our primary protagonist.
Yeah,
we don't really
because-
have like a
yeah.
central focused character.
Yeah, not
but
really.
I mean, if I were to say this movie had a good guy, it would be him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did because it was his sister who was raped by this guy which is where the baby came from.
But doesn't he die at the end?
Who?
That guy?
Yes.
What is it called at the end when like the words?
Oh, the epilogue?
Yes. So who was that about?
That was about,
That was about the guy who lived.
The guy who was road raging the entire
Why
time.
does anyone care about that guy? He's such an asshole.
He was.
He suffered a head injury, Werner.
No. He's an asshole.
Yeah, no, he was a very loud, mean asshole who hated the scum of the city.
Especially if they hold out on him.
And then he like killed his partner and then lived, and then we're supposed to care about how his life was good after that. He worked for the FBI. Like, no, fuck that guy.
Yeah, well, so what? Okay, so I guess this is going to be our segue into failures.
Sorry, I just had questions about that. I was like, why am I supposed to care about him all of a sudden?
Well, I'm not sure, and here's what else didn't work. So we got to
and here's some other stuff.
the first thing was on the back of the box. I purchased this movie from Matt Jaissle's store, VidEvil. It was $10 plus shipping. On the back of the box, it tells me that this movie is 90 minutes, and this movie is over in 64 minutes.
Including credits.
Well, 72 including credits.
72 including credits.
Yeah, so it was like 8
As it
minutes
turns
of
out,
credits.
I cannot do math.
Yeah, no, it was a long time for credits.
Just over an hour.
Yeah, it was 65 minutes, and it's not like I wanted it to be longer.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fine.
It was fine like there was, yeah.
But I was definitely expecting 90. And to continue into something else, the end of the movie, it just ended, and I knew it was supposed to be 90 minutes, so I was really confused when the epilogue came up. I thought we were gonna continue on with the story and wrap the story up.
They get like a mini transition with a little epilogue page.
Yeah, like, oh, let's just flash forward through time. And then I even said to myself, not even to myself, I even said, I was like, oh, so we could have just started from here
Yeah.
and finished the movie.
That would have been really weird, though, because then that would have been a 60-minute cold opening. That'd be really weird.
For a 20-minute payoff. But that's what I thought, and then it did the title screen again, and I was so confused. I was like, "Wait, did the movie start over, or what?" I did not understand it was over. I didn't get it.
Very weird.
That was probably on me, but I was not expecting it to be over. I was like, "Wait, what?" But yeah, those are a couple of my failures.
One of the things I noticed about this movie, in stark contrast to Back from Hell, is that if you watch Back from Hell, and it'll take a couple of times because the dialogue is so like warbly and muted and it's hard to follow sometimes. There is a pretty distinct like cause and effect in that movie, and you can kind of follow why things happen.
Yes.
This
Kind of.
movie feels more like an Andreas Schnass movie, like Zombie 90, where things just kind of happen, and you're bearing witness to these things happening. And it doesn't really feel like there's any real chain or flow of events. It's just a bunch of stuff that happens. And I'm not crazy about that style of movie unless it's like really perfectly done.
Yeah,
I feel like this is very hit or miss in regards to that. And the stuff that happens is usually not particularly fun to watch.
yeah. I mean, you brought up another movie we covered, Devil Story.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I say things.
Yeah, so you brought that up, and it totally reminded me after you mentioned it. Like, it was very similar into we're just dipping in and out of these different scenes, and here's this crazy guy going around.
Going,
with his giant dick.
Giant paper mache dick.
He had a giant erect.
I was wondering, that was a question I needed to pose. Was
Okay.
he so sex crazed and rapey in life because he had a giant murderous erection at all times?
a murder action?
Murder erection.
Wait, is that why?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I don't know why he was.
He just had a giant rage boner at all times.
Why does anyone do anything?
All right,
You know?
knock it off.
Okay.
Fucking philosophy 101, Tom.
Relax.
We get really deep here, so I'd be willing to indulge.
Yeah, that's a good question. They never really explained his motivations.
I mean,
Yeah.
they just I don't think that really matters. They just set him
No,
up as
I
here's
guess
the
not.
serial killer, and here are the two cops who are chasing him.
And he has a huge cock.
He's got a big dick. I mean, I'm assuming that his dick didn't grow after he died.
Does your dick grow after you die?
Like your
Is it like your fingernails? Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. That'd be pretty sweet.
Would it?
No,
No.
probably not.
No comment.
Just grows out of the grows out of the casket. It's just a dick poking out of.
That's how you know that person's been dead a long time.
A dick tree grows there.
You know how life happens.
Mushrooms everywhere.
Oh, that's what mushrooms are.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, okay. Okay, now we're done. I'm definitely done. Anything else?
I really didn't like that police officer character.
The secondary police officer?
I don't even know his name because it was
Malone?
It was mumbled
Mathers?
every
Mathers.
time.
I think it was Mathers.
Malone
Mathers, yeah. He was like really just wacky. Like the way he spoke. I don't know if it was just like subpar acting or the dialogue itself, or it was just like really
I mean,
comical and ridiculous to me.
I think that was the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he was directed into that. I don't know. I feel like before he gets the head injury, I was like, yeah, this guy's pretty good. Like, he's not amazing.
Not that guy. The guy who dies.
Oh, the glasses
the guy who dies? You don't like that guy?
Tourette's guy.
That guy was awesome.
When you
That guy
guys were
was the
talking
best
about how
part.
much you loved him, and I was like, I don't know if he's the best or worst part of this movie.
Definitely part of the best. The best side for sure.
Yeah.
He kept calling everyone motherfucker in the best way humanly possible.
He had an amazing mullet.
Yeah, that he had like tied up so we couldn't notice.
Yeah. So like up front,
He liked
was
to
all
repeat
business.
himself.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he repeats himself a lot in this movie. It's really bizarre.
Yeah, they spoke in circles a lot.
That is a symptom of Tourette's.
This movie was just a product of the mid '90s.
Oh, yeah.
As far as fashion and style and
Yeah.
all that stuff goes. So I mean, I can't. It's not necessarily a failure. It's just like people are walking around in Smashing Pumpkins shirts.
Yep. With hemp necklaces and chin straps.
Yeah, it's very
It's
mid '90s.
kind of fun to see it though, because I feel like I see a lot of movies where like there's a lot of really bad 80s fashion on screen, and I rarely
Yeah.
get to see how bad the 90s gets. And the 90s gets just as bad as the 80s. So it's really fun to see this.
Yeah,
I feel like this movie was like a vehicle for someone to exercise their fetishes.
For sure. Are you talking about the scene where a woman dildos a blow-up doll for no discernible reason?
That, and then the like little mini BDSM session, and then
yeah, but
there's lots of and thens.
they were all done so weak and with a hint of comedy that I'm not sure someone was fulfilling some sort of fetish there. As
I don't
much.
know. That blow up doll thing went on a little too long. Some really minute detail.
It did. Well, it's funny because I noticed that I felt them pad the movie out a little bit with some scenic shots and like long scenes and stuff, and I was like, wow, they really filled that 90 minutes. And then it was
with
still
60 minutes of content.
and it was still 65 minutes, like even with padding.
Yeah, that was just bizarre to me, and it totally lended towards my confusion about whether our main zombie sex maniac had like a radar for kinky activity.
Yeah, because it seemed that
He
everyone
just
in
kept
this
like
town.
sniffing it out.
I mean, I almost wonder if it was just like horror movie shorthand for if you fuck, you get killed. Like,
I'm assuming.
I don't know if that's, maybe that's what they're going for, and they just kind of cut out the part where there's any kind of motivation or reason that these people are being tracked
when
down.
you're fucking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I think his goal was to kill sluts, right? He didn't like sluts. That I knew.
That seems to be
That was the only driver.
Yeah,
and
I don't know.
then they showed us sluts that he could kill.
And he was mad at Ryback. Our main villain looked like the bad guy from Under Siege too.
Terrible movie. So do we want to discuss some of the risks associated with this movie? And by risks, I mean, do we want to just talk about, we slightly touched upon a lot of the sexual fetish and all the weird stuff. Do we want to just go ahead and,
Yeah, I mean, there were
Like there's
dicks
just
in
scenes.
nearly every scene.
Yeah.
like, there was the baby slaughter scene. Someone got their dick ripped off after the dick that was pissing on it.
Yeah.
Got its dick ripped off and then shoved into that guy's eye.
Yep. Someone got stabbed with a dick.
Yeah, their own dick.
Yeah.
And then there was just a lot of like,
Dildos.
penis mutilation.
Yep. A lot of graphic rape.
A lot of graphic rape of inanimate and animate things.
Yep.
Like, I don't know. Like, I was not, I mean, the movie's called The Necro Files. I should have known better.
Yeah.
But I was not expecting it to go this far.
It feels like a big difference from Back from Hell, like in terms of tone and content.
Yeah. And I
I wasn't
wonder-
expecting this.
No, I wasn't either. And I'm not to say I'm disappointed. I am just surprised. I'm this movie's father. And
I mean, as long as it's happy, I'm happy.
yeah, exactly. I'm just surprised. That's all. I just wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, it was out there. They went for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So lots of graphic everything and wrapped up in silliness. But I guess we can talk about favorite parts unless we want to add anything.
Flying baby demon, obviously.
Hell yeah.
Anything having to do with this flying baby demon was A-okay in my book.
As soon as that baby shows up, I'm like, okay, the movie just took a 180. This is going to be amazing.
This is my new favorite.
So what'd the baby do?
So 2 of the Satanists who survived the zombies' initial rise find in this book that there's a demon that they can summon to basically clean up their mess. So they go to the graveyard, do the spell, and nothing happens. They leave, and then unbeknownst to them, the baby that was sacrificed flies out of its grave, possessed by a demon on a mission to, I think, kill the Satanists that did the... Like, kill the remaining Satanists.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And to pretty much conquer the zombie and kill it so it stops, like, raping and killing people. But yeah, this baby flies around talking in a crazy high-pitched, like, chipmunk voice. Like, mocking people.
It's also half deadite.
Yeah. It's so weird. Like, when I say it flies around, it literally flies around. Hovers around. There's, like, a 2-minute clip on YouTube, like a little peek. Definitely look it up, because that's what we watched, and that's what I think.
It's even better out of context.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, I would say in context, it was very enjoyable. Out of context, just watching the clip, really fantastic.
I think that's what piqued our interest. But it's basically just taunting and chasing the zombie around an open field as the zombie tries to fuck a blow-up doll.
Don't forget that the zombie is slow dancing and serenading the blow-up doll first.
Oh yeah, I can't forget that.
That's true. He fell in love with the blow-up
And
doll.
the baby just taunts him, like calls him a prick and laughs.
And a butt
It's
wipe.
like, ha ha. Oh man, I don't know whose brainchild that is, but it is just.
I really hope it was Jaissle's idea.
No, yeah, I thought, well done. Effective, funny, and gross.
So funny.
And most importantly, very memorable.
Oh, yeah. You remember that.
Like, this is going to be in my head for a long time.
Yeah, so any other favorite parts?
There's a scene where the our officer Tourette's guy is like in his kind of crappy apartment watching cartoons loudly. And it's like he just basically put a stock like CD sound effect compilation of cartoon sounds from like Hanna-Barbera cartoons, and it's just played on a loop. There's like absolutely nothing going on in this cartoon except for like lasers and cartoon like fucking car crashes and bonks and planks.
Yeah, it's basically like someone's playing a rampant game of Henry.
Yeah.
Right there.
Exactly. And while he's doing this, he's like taking notes on how his like partner who with the head injury is like losing his mind and going psychotic. But like you realize like when he's recording this cartoon noises are going to be on. He's just sitting there, his dirty wife beater, his stupid mullet and mustache. It's so good.
So funny. One of my favorite parts was, we mentioned this baby slaughter scene. So they get the baby that was born from the rape to kill at the gravesite so the guy can come back to life. And these Satanists are just walking through the cemetery in like broad daylight, and it's kind of silly at first.
In like black robes.
They're just all in black robes and silly masks, and like they get there,
Nice khakis.
yeah. They get there and they're kind of Guar-esque. I mean, so they look kind of silly anyway. And then they start like acting silly, and then they go to slaughter this baby, and then he's holding it, and it's just this, obviously it's this fake baby. So I don't want to make sure that, I mean, this is morbid, but it's hysterical. And he starts just like stabbing it, and it's just like flailing around, and he's flailing, and blood's flying, and then he throws it in the ditch, and someone gets their dick ripped off, and then these guys run, and they're like, "Holy shit, let's get the fuck out of here!" And it was fantastic. So it was and it was right in the beginning.
It's so over the top.
It was ridiculous.
It was like 10 minutes in, and if at that point you're disgusted or just get out now, that's your get the fuck out now scene.
It's as good as it's gonna get.
Yeah.
And it ain't gonna get that good again.
Yeah, it's it definitely drew me in as opposed to turn me away. That's for sure.
I actually kind of liked our main two Satanist guys. They were amusing.
They're kind of funny, yeah. A couple funny lines.
I think I would have thought those guys were really cool when I was like 10.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the kind of guys. I look
those
up
guys
to.
got facial hair.
Because I was thinking about them like in contrast to like the charisma of Father Aaron and Jack. And
Yeah.
I was like, man, they're way better.
What? No way.
They have way more presence.
They really do. They were actually not bad. I thought they were pretty good for a movie of this caliber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably the best actors in the movie.
Yeah.
Especially the guy who like lived the longest.
Oh yeah, the guy with the.
I'm so terrible. I don't remember
flannel.
anyone's name from this movie.
Yeah, I don't think we knew those names. I don't think they even said them.
I think they did.
The
but-
one with the chin beard was like Barney, I think.
Barney.
Smashing
I don't remember what the
Pumpkins
other guy's
shirt?
name.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, we didn't do a good job with the names on this one.
Who cares?
I don't.
We're terrible. We've been off for 2 weeks. We have no idea what we're doing.
Yeah, no, this is
And
like
we're about
starting
to go on vacation. We've already checked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, our first year was so successful doing this that we earned enough money to go on a vacation to Mexico.
Thank you for all your $10 in envelopes.
So all those envelopes full of $10 bills got us to Mexico.
It's like 10:30 at night, and we have to get on a plane in like 6 hours.
We're doing this for you, the listener.
Appreciate it. Any other favorite parts?
One of the guys in one of the little vignettes who is going to try to shoot the zombie is wearing a Weekend at Bernie's 2 hat. And I thought that was great.
That's right. Good eye.
Not the first one, the second one.
A Weekend at Bernie's
That
2.
was really great.
Oh my god, you don't know how bad I want that hat.
It's so stupid, but I just laughed when the 2 Satanist guys were eating lunch. And one bitched at the other one. They got like Taco Bell or something. And one bitched at the other guy. He was like, "You forgot my cinnamon Crispitos." It was just being such a bitch about it. I thought that was comical.
I know.
In the midst of them trying to discuss how to solve their Satan problem.
Yeah.
Like,
They're like, "Oh, we can summon this demon." Damn it, you forgot my Crispitos.
Well, what I also liked about them is they eventually caved and then asked Jesus for help.
That's true.
They-
They're like, "I'm so sorry."
I think that's really funny.
that is really funny,
That's comedy in a for Satanists.
That's
got, like,
comedy.
I just got like a real Beavis and Butthead vibe from those guys. Like,
Oh yeah.
and
absolutely.
I just love that style of character. I don't know why they're always funny, but Beavis and Butthead style characters are just always great.
Yeah. Spot on.
And I mean, they stopped showing up anywhere after 1999. So there's a very brief window where you can get them.
Just squeeze them in here. If that's it, we can move on to ratings. So let's rate it then.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with.
Yeah,
fuck
I'm gonna
you.
have to give it an unfortunate fuck off.
Oh my god, my fucking father.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
All right, let's rate the Necro Files from 1997, guys. Let's begin.
I don't even know.
You don't even know? All right, Eric, what do you think?
I'll give it a standard fuck off.
A standard fuck off.
Yeah, the lack of content is kind of disappointing in that it was supposed to be 90 and it was 75, 65,
65.
yeah. That was kind of a disappointment, especially given that there's like weird padding and scenes that don't really seem to go anywhere in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really think I like the vibe of it as much as I do Back from Hell. I feel like Back from Hell could really be made into something really excellent and cool. I feel like this is like Necro Files would always be what it is. You know what I mean? Like, we've speculated about, like, what if Back from Hell was just, like, fucking amazing and had, like, a huge budget? Like, it'd be really cool.
Totally.
Necro Files is always going to be the Necro Files. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, no, that's good insight.
and that's not necessarily a problem. If this is your kind of movie, then you'll really enjoy it. If it's not, you'll fucking hate it. I don't know. It didn't really do much for me either way. I don't know if I would watch it again, though the highlight reel for this movie would be incredible. So I'll say that much.
Wow. All right. Good wrap up. Do you come to a conclusion?
I think I have.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a fucking fine.
Oh, wow.
It was really ridiculous, and I pretty much agree with you on every point. Except for that, I definitely would tell people to watch this because it's just so bizarre and like out there. It's an hour of your time, and it's just so over the top and funny and like uncomfortable and creepy. I think it's worth a view if you're into this sort of thing.
Yeah. I was debating this as well, and I think I'm also going to give it a fucking fine. I think that I would also recommend this to somebody. I think this is right up the street for people who like trauma-style movies, but without that...
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, it's a little less wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And this is more like, we're just going to kind of throw some funny parts in here and be a genuine comedy.
Yeah, the comedy was definitely intentional.
Yeah.
It was definitely, I think it was the most appealing part of the movie for me, too.
Definitely.
For sure.
Yeah, it hits those trauma notes much better than trauma does.
Yeah. And I mean, I think so, just due to how graphic some of it is and what kind of audience I think would really appreciate it, I think would be that audience. I'm glad I bought it. I'm glad it came signed by Matt Jaissle. That made me proud,
Yeah.
even though he didn't know it was for me. But that's okay. I know it was still for me.
Thanks, Jason.
Thanks, man.
I definitely
I would
am
recommend
like
it.
still interested to see pretty much all of his other stuff.
I definitely want to watch more of his stuff. I want to see how
It's always like an interesting time.
he makes captivating movies. Like so, he's 2 for 2 for me. Like as far as that's concerned, I think these are 2 movies that I would say I would tell someone to watch. I'm not going to be as gung ho about sitting people down and watching Necro Files as I was about Back from Hell.
You're not going to show this to your nieces.
I'm not going to show this to my 14-year-old cousin. I'm not going to show this to my 8-year-old niece. Probably wouldn't do that with Back from Hell either, but that's okay.
Someday.
She'll be old enough someday. But no, I definitely would recommend it.
I enjoyed it.
Any final thoughts, guys? Final thoughts? Anything you want to get off your chest? Any questions? Or are we good here?
I think we're good here.
We're good.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, this...
Fresh off a break.
Yeah, fresh off break.
Fresh
Let's take
going
another break.
into a break.
Yeah.
Just a vacation on the mind.
We watched The Necro Files from 1997, directed by Matt Jaissle. Friend of the show. We could say that, right?
Yeah, I think he's a friend.
Excellent.
Sure, why not?
He offered for us to be in Back from Hell too. I think we're friends.
That is true. And you can listen to that episode in this post and on iTunes. I think we gave it an overall recommend. Eric wouldn't necessarily recommend it or watch it again, but that's okay. We still like you.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. If you'd like more information, visit Facebook, facebook.com/secondclasscinema. If you are listening to this on our website, secondclasscinema.com, you can also listen to it on iTunes, TuneIn, and Stitcher. We're on Instagram and Twitter as well. Reach out to us. Recommend a movie. It might be cool. We'll watch it. And you can also listen to us on the followingfilms.com. We're a part of this network with these other movie podcasts, some great guys. War Machine vs. Warhorse, I guested on their show. They're on the network. A couple other people we really like and listen to. That's it, guys. We're done.
Good night.
Now it's time to go to Mexico.
All right, guys. Arriba.
Arrivederci. Arriving in Derchi.
Hasta banana.
What the hell is this, man? I forgot my cinnamon Crispitos. What the fuck is wrong with you, man?
Sorry, man.
God.